Let's start with the game that will be played behind us here tonight at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The Eagles raising the banner. Don't tell the Eagles that. They don't know they're raising the banner. The Cowboys don't have Micah Parsons. They're well aware of that. The Eagles are now favored by 8.5 with an over-under of 47.5. It is tied for the biggest spread of the week. The Broncos are 8.5-point favorites over the Titans. Who do you got?
Well, you know my thoughts on the Eagles. I think they're the best team in football. I think they're the best roster in football. I think they're incredible that way. All right, I clearly think they're the better team as far as compared to the Dallas Cowboys. I do, right? But week ones are tricky. I look at it that way. There's interesting things across the board in the matchup, certainly, that you look at to go, ooh, I don't know how this is going to play out. We talked a lot about on PFT. The corners in this game, I think, are going to, on both teams, are going to be in some situations where you go, oh, you got to man up against some really good receivers here in a big moment. So that can lend itself to some explosive plays. I do think Dallas has more talent than people are giving them credit for. I do think people are maybe poo-pooing Dallas a little bit just because they lost Micah Parsons, and we know how big that is, right? So I'm taking the Eagles, but the 8.5 is a little too much for me. I'm going 27-20 Eagles on this one here. I know.
Cowboys covering the spread.
Yeah.
Look, I won't be surprised if the Cowboys win. They need a running game. They need Javonte Williams to become the guy that we thought he was on track to becoming in Denver before he suffered the torn ACL in his second season. They need the punch in the running game. They need to be able to set up the play-action pass if there's going to be a lot of Dak Prescott under center. You've got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. The offense could be effective, could be potent. But, even in the years when the Cowboys are good, where are they typically good? At home, not on the road.
Right.
You get them at AT&T Stadium. They get up by a couple of scores, and it just kind of mushrooms. It's a division rival. They're coming here. They're going to be salty. I don't know enough about what Brian Schottenheimer is going to be. I'm going to err on the side of Schottenheimer wasn't a shortlist head coaching candidate for a reason. The rest of the league wasn't wrong. Jerry hired the path of least resistance, bird in the hand. This is the guy that we need for Dak, and he's going to be cheap. I think the Eagles will do enough. I think the Eagles will be motivated. They're doing the best to put last year behind them. They'll come out tonight, and I think they'll put on a show. I've got Eagles 30-17 over the Cowboys.
All right.
So we already disagree on a spread.
There we go. One right off the bat there. I'm interested, too. Neither one of these teams played their starters. That's kind of an interesting thing to me. You got the Eberflus factor, right, on the defensive side of the ball. I guess the bottom line reason I think I'm just going to pick them to cover the spread is that they're going to be a little chippy, feel disrespected. And, of course, the fear of, oh, my gosh, we got to open up the Eagles against the Eagles. We got to be on our game. I think Dallas is going to put their best foot forward tonight.
It's the TCU factor. We were talking about that earlier. Right. Everybody's talking about the Eagles. Everybody's talking about the Eagles. And when we talk about the Cowboys, we're only talking about Micah Parsons, and that probably pisses them off even more. So I could see the Cowboys covering. I could see the Cowboys winning. But I'm going to go with my gut that the Eagles will win on the night they raise the banner.
Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.